While there are a fair number of videos that emphasize how well monkeys work on individual maps, I rarely see videos that rank the maps themselves. So today, I'm going to give my top 10 maps in the game, while explaining why I like them the most. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Spice Islands is a refreshing change compared to most maps in the game. It is mostly covered in water, and it only provides a few spots to place land monkeys. The combination of bends and straightaways benefit a wide range of monkeys, while making it a great map for challenges. My only complaint is that the last third of the map is a bit average, but at least it gives extra space for global monkeys to pop balloons. Workshop has been growing on me lately. The increased balloon speed mechanic and short mower path are tough to deal with, but not the worst compared to most maps in the expert pool. However, what I like the most about Workshop is that it gives us two machines. One temporarily removes the bonus move speed for 30 seconds, while the other extends the track for 20 seconds. I have always liked maps that allow you to modify how it's played, provided it doesn't hold your monkeys hostage if you don't use it. So the map's mechanics on its own gave it a spot on this list. But the main reason Workshop is in 9th place though, is the number of goddamn tables. Some are reasonable, but Ninja Kiwi went a little overboard and created a bunch of annoying dead zones on the map. But otherwise, Workshop is a very cool map that was released with an equally cool monkey. High Finance feels like a flashbang when you open it for the first time, but if you get past it, it's very fun to play on. The map starts with a small playable space, which is just enough to beat it on chimps. But if you find that space too restricting, you can contract builders to open up rooftops of buildings for you. However, it suffers the same faults as Workshop, being a little overdone with the number of props and moving parts, which does take away from my overall enjoyment of the map. But I'm still surprised though that I've played this game for years, yet only recently I noticed that the two tracks form a $sign. Smart, Ninja Kiwi, smart. Spoiler alert, Park Path isn't going to be on this list because it's too plain for my taste. But Dark Path, on the other hand, is a surprising twist on the map's mechanics. The map does a really good job of combining the challenge of limited line of sight with most elements of easier maps. And the fact that the center loop is a great spot for mortars and Ultra Juggernaut, it has opened up a fair number of low-cost chimps runs. The map's removables are also quite good, giving you extra space to place your monkeys at an ever-increasing cost. The main reason it's lower down on this list though, is that its colour scheme is a bit bleak in my opinion, and a lot of the map feels like dead space. Peninsula follows a similar theme to Dark Path, but it's harder and has a lot more water than land. But it's ranked slightly higher than Dark Path because its limited space gimmick is executed a lot better on this map, and I prefer the colourful coastal theme. Without repeating what I said about Dark Path, Peninsula makes helis and spike factories extremely satisfying to use, since they have perfect spots cut out for them. Other than that, Peninsula is a very solid map for the challenge it provides, and it's a regular on my chimps playlist. Dark Castle isn't my favourite map by any means, but it deserves a lot of credit for being an absolute banger to play. The combination of 4 forking lanes, large moat of water, and castle rooftop open a wide range of strategies while still posing a decent challenge. The castle wall provides an interesting trade-off, providing a good spot for snipers, spike factories, and monkeys that attack in a straight line, but strictly limits their placement to being on the ledge unless they ignore line of sight. Another mechanic I like is the trees. Normally they block all line of sight, but for $1,000 a lane they can be removed to effectively extend the track, hence giving the player the choice of making the map easier if they so desire, but not making it necessary for beating the map. The only reason it's 5th place though, is that it's not as remarkable as the other maps higher up on this list. Yeah, this can't be a top maps list without mentioning the trilogy of challenge run maps, Logs, Resort and Cubism, but to avoid them clogging up 3 slots on the list, I've given them all a single ranking. Being the easiest maps in the game, they open up a lot of challenges and save ups that are just not possible on most maps, and the sheer number of loops, intersections and bends forces bloons to pass a monkey several times before leaking. But if I had to pick a favourite of the three, I would go with Resort because it's a lot more visually appealing compared to the other two. Cornfield is essentially high finance, but without its flaws, and a water source. You start with a small block of land, but if you so choose, you can chop down other cornfields to open up more space. However, one of the best challenges in the game is completing chimps without removing any corn. It's unique since it isn't exactly a walk in the park, but it's easy enough to open up a wide range of strategies. Also, its narrow paths are good for bouncing projectiles, so it gets bonus points from me. Balance has always been a staple map for me when I want to do challenge runs. While technically a 2-lanes map, the way the balloons split across the roots of the garden is just mesmerising to watch. But my favourite aspect of the map is how the roots merge together to form a ring in the centre. The little circle spot opens up a lot of satisfying combos, such as Sorter, Tack Shooters, Beast Handlers, Spirit of the Forest, Mortars, and so on and so forth. Another major feature of this map I enjoy is the outer hedges. Usually line of sight blockers are added to make the map slightly more difficult, but in Balance's case it actually improves the map. It allows monkeys with bouncing projectiles to maximise their DPS, without restricting their line of sight. My only major nitpick is the lack of water beyond the little yin-yang pools, but it's still enough to squeeze a couple of monkeys without any issues. Released in the 33.0 update, Midnight Mansion has been a regular map I come back to beat on chimps. From the get-go, you have very limited space, only allowing the placement of monkeys that are at or smaller than a boomerang. And there isn't any water, so subs and bucks are off the table unless you have Lord of the Abyss. But the map does give some leeway with the addition of 2 dresses that allow the placement of most larger monkeys and ignore all line of sight blockers. Combining all these mechanics into one map, it really makes you strategize how you place your monkeys without sacrificing fun features like large bends and straight lines. The portrayal of good land being a scarce resource is extremely well executed, and I wish Nijikiri makes more maps that lean into this gimmick, rather than attaching an annoying modifier or line of sight blocker that artificially inflates the difficulty. But overall, I love how this map plays, and I've been finding it hard lately to find a map that I personally enjoy over Midnight Mansion. And that's my opinion on the top 10 maps in BTD6. I know this list may not reflect your own, so I'm very interested to see what your favourite maps are in the comments section below. But otherwise, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.